Hey there! If you're looking for a fun and easy way to earn rewards, including cash and prizes, check out the link in the video description.
NATO is drawing up plans to send American troops to the front lines of Europe in the event of an all-out conflict with Russia, it has been revealed. New land corridors are being carved out to quickly funnel soldiers through Central Europe without local bureaucratic impediments, allowing NATO forces to pounce in an instant should Putin's devastating war in Ukraine move further west. The plans are said to include contingencies in case of Russian bombardment, letting troops sweep into the Balkans via corridors in Italy, Greece and Turkey, or towards Russia's northern border via Scandinavia, officials told The Telegraph. Tensions have ratcheted up in recent weeks, with Russian President Vladimir Putin openly acknowledging the possibility of a full-scale Third World War as he threatens fatal consequences for Western allies allowing Ukraine use of their weapons on Russian soil. Ukraine's challenge in repelling the Russian invasion has moved European leaders to take a harder stance on Moscow as the war rages on into its third year, some now threatening to send troops east and making record investments into defense. According to the plans, American soldiers would land at one of 5 ports across Europe, for allowing access to the western Ukrainian border and a 5th reaching the Russian border via Finland. NATO already had plans in place for U.S. troops to deploy in the Netherlands, before moving towards Poland by train in the event of war. But amid warnings from Norway's top general that Europe only has 2 to 3 years to prepare before Russia could realistically attack the bloc, NATO is said to be exploring possible countermeasures. The expanded corridors are hoped to offer a failsafe in case logistical or communication lines are severed, shoring up routes to quickly move across Europe should Russia target a member state. In the event the route through Central Europe becomes compromised, Allied troops would be able to move through Italy into Slovenia and the Balkans, bypassing the Alps and Switzerland. The aim of the plans would be to ensure armies could rush through Europe without delays caused by local regulations and checkpoints, as the French government observed difficulty moving tanks through borders en route to Romania. Greece and Turkey, also both NATO members, could also provide routes through to Romania and towards the southern coast of Ukraine under the plans. And a 5th route through Norway and Sweden into Finland could allow troops to reach the Russian border in the north since Finland's accession to the bloc in April last year. NATO leaders agreed last year to prepare 300,000 troops to be kept in a state of high readiness to defend the bloc in case of an attack on a member state, just under half the force Napoleon sent to Russia in his disastrous 1812 campaign. Russia meanwhile continues to amass forces. The Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, think tank assessed that the Russian military began 2023 with a highly disorganized force in Ukraine of around 360,000 troops, rising to 410,000 by the summer. By the beginning of this year, they reported, there were 470,000 troops in occupied territories. In December, NATO tested its readiness for war in Europe with joint tabletop exercises involving the UK and allies in the Baltic. The exercises aimed at clarifying roles and responsibilities, addressing possible challenges of organizing various forces around a common offensive. France also announced plans in March to deploy 37 Leclerc tanks in Romania to ensure readiness, further strengthening an international battalion in the east. French President Emmanuel Macron has urged NATO unity against a belligerent Russian aggressor, warning the rules of the game has changed in a recent speech in Paris. The fact that war has returned to European soil, and that it is being waged by a nuclear-armed power, changes everything, he told an audience at the Sorbonne late in April. Macron warned that Europe is not armed against the risks we face abroad and urged his allies on the continent to avoid over-reliance on the US for security. As Putin and his allies continue to labor threats of nuclear Armageddon and Russia prepares mobile nuclear bunkers for civilians, Macron has appealed to allies to form a European defense initiative and commit more to spending on defense. Only in March, US President Joe Biden said there was no need for